What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the RabidMining YouTube channel, the greatest mining channel on YouTube. Now, today we are checking out the Jasminer X4-1U. Now, this thing is going to make your GPUs obsolete when it comes to mining Ethereum Classic once Ethereum does move to POS. So currently, this can mine Ethereum. Right now, you can maximize your profits utilizing this highly efficient machine. And then once it does move to POS, you can just swap it over to Ethereum Classic. In this video, it's pretty much going to be your only go-to video you got to see when it comes to this miner. We're going to be doing some unboxing. We're going to go over the overclock settings and default settings on Ethereum as well as Ethereum Classic. And we're also going to go over some of the noise that this thing does produce. We'll also be looking at some current profitabilities with this miner, where to purchase this, how to purchase this, if it's worth purchasing, as well as my final conclusion. I spent pretty much all day testing different ways you can mine with this thing. So let's get into this video. Well, it finally showed up. So what is this thing? If you're unfamiliar with what this is way better than your GPU. No, this is the Jasminer. I'm pretty sure it's the X4-1U, which is about 520 mega hash on all ETH hash coins and allegedly Ethereum Classic. We will be testing out, both algorithms in this video just to make sure it does work. But on the side here, we can see it does state Jasminer X4. Now, this is not the X4. The X4 is a much bigger beast that looks more like a standard ASIC. This is why I'm thinking this is the X4-1U. But again, we'll find out. And this is about 520 to 540 mega hash at only about 240 watts. We have our watt meter over there. We're going to plug this thing in. At the beginning, when I opened it, you guys seen it came with this plug. This is for European. So if you are in North America, this will not work. I do have, obviously, and most of you guys probably have this type of C13 plug, which is what you are going to need in North America. I have lots of these, so it's no issue for me. We'll just go around this thing and kind of have a quick peek to see, what's all going on with it. For plugging things in, all you really have, well, I guess all there is your C13 plug for power and your straight up Ethernet plug. There's nothing else on this. So you plug those two in, give it power, give it internet, and then we head into the GUI on the website and get this thing running. So there's really nothing to hookup process for this thing whatsoever. Extremely easy. Now, if you think Ethereum Classic is your go-to once Ethereum is gone, then obviously you're going to want to get rid of your GPUs right now and probably pick up a few of these, because these things, no GPU can compete with the hash power that this does. Remember, we're going to test this in this video to make sure this even works on Ethereum Classics. It says it does, but we will do some testing on the coins that can mine. Where do you purchase these Jasminer X4-1Us? I will show you right now. If looking to pick up a Jasminer for yourself, be sure to use my link in the description below. Also, coupon code RabidMining will grant you an additional 1% off. Jingle Mining, also on top of being the cheapest place out there to purchase this, they're also an ASIC miner value trusted website, which means they are scam proof. They have been 100% tested and certified for their miners, so you don't have to be worried about getting scammed. On top of that, they also sent me this miner to showcase for you guys. So check out Jingle Mining. Link is in the description, and code RabidMining is an additional 1% off. So I'm about to plug this thing in to the watt meter there, so let's see what happens. Okay, so it has power. I can hear some fans and stuff going on. We got a fault light, a normal light. Remember, it's been on for like 2 seconds. I just plugged it in and started rolling the recording. So nothing's really going on right now, but I can hear some action going on inside here. For stats purposes, it was only hanging out at about 24 watts idle. It did pick up to 43 watts. We do have the green light of normal off, fault picked back up. So we're going to jump into the UI here inside the workstation and see what's going on. So you are going to need to find your local IP address of this Jasminer on your local network. I did try IP Reporter, which is what you usually use for most ASIC miners. It did not work. It just get errors, wouldn't find anything. So I logged into my router itself, scrolled down, and we can see the Jasminer is connected right here. This is my IP I got to put into my browser. Obviously, yours is going to be different depending on, you know, your router and everything on yours. Anyway, so that will bring us that. Punch this IP into your browser address, and that will bring you to the dashboard. If you have to log in, default username as well as password is both root. Okay, so main point, here's our dashboard. We hit our status. We got nothing going on here. Underneath settings and miner, this is where we set everything up. And under advanced coin selection, we have Ethereum or Ethereum Classic. So this is how we would pick between the two. These are the only coins this can mine. Remember, we're going to start off on Ethereum. We will try Ethereum Classic later on. Then we got a frequency, which is like an overclocking situation, 200 megahertz or 225. We're going to start with 200 here. We don't want to blow anything up, you know, the first hour of having this thing. I'm going to try pointing this at Flex Pool with my other miners on Ethereum, and we'll kind of see what happens. All right, so I'm not 100% sure if this is going to work or not yet. I got my URL going to Flex Pool. Now, it's normal miners that you got to put in your Stratum. So if this doesn't work, I'll try my Stratum. If that doesn't work, you know, it may be, this could be set up for using something like F2 Pool or something where you make accounts and not just mine to a wallet address. But I'm going to try this and see what happens. So I'm going to hit the update button here as it takes its time to update. Do we have an error? I don't know. I think everything looks good. So now let's find the next step. So it's uptime of about 13 minutes, 18 seconds. We're all connected still, but we still have no hash rate whatsoever. It's not really doing anything, but I have heard that it does take, you know, at least about 30 minutes to actually get going. At the wall, we're still hanging out at 45 watts, so it's not ramping up or doing anything past its initial boot up process. So we're just going to wait longer, and hopefully, you know, this thing starts kicking in within the next 15 to 20 minutes. And obviously, because nothing's going on over there, we still have no action going on at the pool. We're not detected because we're not sending any shares, but I thought I'd point out that as well. Okay, so I am right at the 34-minute mark. We can see we're slightly over 250 watts at the wall on that watt meter. I'm still not seeing any type of hash rates, but it is starting to wind up now. So again, you know, it does take at least 30 minutes to get this thing up and rolling. So I'm going to wait a little longer until I actually do see some hash rate happening. So 37 minutes, we are seeing some hash rate, and we're about 264.5 watts, which is already over that reported of what, you know, it's being advertised as. So we're using a slight bit more power. We still got to wait for some hash rate to increase. This should be around 520 to 540 mega hash at around this power limit. So we're going to give it some more time, maybe even an hour to see where it levels off. We're still not seeing anything at the pool yet, but you know, I'm going to keep you updated. I'm going to continue watching this thing. So 43 minutes into this, we're hanging out at 543 mega hash at 267 watts. We are detected now at the pool. It's not showing a reported hash rate, but it does have a current hash rate, you know, rolling out here. So we're going to give it more time. Obviously, it may take a full hour for everything to finally start looking as intended. So obviously our reported hash rate is not going up, but our current effective is definitely seeing a nice little spike. Okay, guys, so we're at the 1 hour mark. Our hash rate is 524 mega hash. Average is sitting at 478. and 477 it's saying down here. We are still at 267.5 watts, which is extremely efficient. We're at pretty much half a gigahash here for the power consumption of maybe a 3080. That's pretty insane. Also looking at the pool here, we still have no reporting. We're currently at a hash rate of 460. Now this is all depends on the shares itself. And I do want to point out into here that this doesn't have a reported hash rate. So this is RT real-time hash rate. So this is basing it on shares found. So it doesn't have a reporting, which is why we're not seeing it at the pool. And I don't think we are going to see that reported hash rate at the pool. In the dashboard here, everything looks like it's based on shares being found, which is good. It's basing your hash rate on the actual share. So this is, legit hash rate that is pulling off right now. Oh, that's crazy. I just missed it, but it peaked 620 mega hash up here for a second. So that's pretty insane. So I'm going to go in the miner config settings here. I am going to just swap this over to Ethereum Classic now, just to see how well it works. Once we get it up and mining on Ethereum Classic, I'm going to change the frequency, and then we're going to go back and check out Ethereum and Ethereum Classic with a little overclock to see how well it does. Let's just go back into our status here, and we can see our temps currently are 38 to 50. So we don't know exactly what our temperature is, but 38 to 50 doesn't seem to be running too warm. The fans are starting to squeal up a little bit, but that's all right. So I'm going to swap this over to ETC. We're not going to go through it all. We get it. 33 minutes, it kicks in. Then I'm going to give it an hour. We're going to see where we are on Ethereum Classic hash rates. If it can mine Ethereum Classic. If it does, this is going to be huge when it comes to the end of Ethereum mining. Okay, guys, so here we are, Ethereum Classic, and it actually ramped up at 28 minutes. So a little bit faster than what we saw on Ethereum. At the same time, maybe it has to warm up and everything, and just doing a quick swap over, increase that process a little bit. So we have hash rate at 28 minutes. It's ramping up. We're also being found at the pool within 28 minutes. So that was actually fairly fast. Again, we don't have much hash rate yet. I'm just going to hit a quick refresh here. So see if it updated at the pool or not. So we have a current effective of 266 mega hash. And yeah, current 266. Oh, obviously that's low because it's an average. We don't really have nothing to average out yet. So Ethereum Classic, legit. It is legitly mining Ethereum Classic as well as Ethereum. So once Ethereum does move to POS, these miners are going to destroy GPUs in terms of efficiency on that Ethereum Classic network. So I'm going to let this run for an hour. We'll come back to it and see what the numbers are looking like. I hit the refresh button, guys. 32 minutes, 629 mega hash, 0.6 of a gigahash at, 267 watts still. That is, I don't even know. The words can't explain how crazy insane that really is. So, that's amazing. Okay, guys, so here we are. It's been 1 hour and we're at 609.26 mega hash. At the wall, we're utilizing 268 watts. Now, if we were to throw that into a hash to watt ratio, that is 2.272. Absolutely amazing on Ethereum Classic. Like I previously said, GPUs cannot match this in any way, shape, or form. So now that we've seen this, let's take a quick look at the pool here to see what we got averaging. It looks like 580. I'm going to do a quick refresh. And again, we have a current effective of 580 mega hashes at the pool, in terms of shares being submitted. So this thing is legitly sending these shares to the pool. We have hash rate coming in, workers online, estimated earnings. Now we do have to fully get that PPLNS log for at least 24 hours before we see our earnings actually go up. This is future tests we will do in the future here. But now let's see what this thing can do once we overclock it a little bit. So our temperature, just like Ethereum, is hanging out at 38 to 50 degrees. I'm going to go into the miner. We're going to go from 200 megahertz to 225. I'm going to keep everything on ETC and then we'll switch to Ethereum after. So I'm going to hit the update and it's probably going to take a little bit of time. I'm not sure if it's going to restart everything over or just, update the overclocks and just begin hashing more. Okay, so it looks like it's disconnected and it is actually rebooting everything from scratch. We're 13 seconds in. So we're going to have to wait for the whole, 28 to 33 minute mark to see where it's at when it kicks in. And then we're going to wait for another hour and then see how it compares at this increase. Now, hopefully we don't blow this thing up in the first couple hours of having this thing, but we got to test this out. This is what the channel and everything is for. We're going to check our power consumptions. We are now at 225 megahertz of a frequency, up from 200. So let's see if this makes an improvement or not. Okay, guys, so I am only 22 minutes in this time, and it started to ramp up, and we are seeing hash rate at 286 watts at the wall. So we're already utilizing more power. Let's give this some time to ramp up around the 35-minute mark and see where our hash rate is sitting. And then again, we're going to go to 1 hour. Okay, we're at the 33-minute range, and I'm not sure if you can hear it in the background of my mic or not, but it's screaming a fair bit louder. Later on, I will, show the difference between not overclocked default settings versus overclocked on a decibel meter just on my phone to see the difference here and kind of compare on, how the sound does sound. But we're only currently hanging out around a 526 mega hash at about 303 watts. So we are using more power, but we haven't seen too much of a gain yet in terms of our actual hash rate. So we're going to let this play out for the hour and see what it's looking like. Okay, guys, so here is the 1 hour mark. Ethereum Classic overclocked with our frequency to 225. We are utilizing 303 watts at the wall. So we are using more power. The fans are ramped up a bit more and it is louder. And we're at 40 to 53 degrees here. Now, I don't know what we're actually at. Are we in the middle here? Is this just the high and this the low? I'm not sure how the temperature part comes into play. And you can see our fan speeds to get an idea. These are small fans, but they're at 14,800 RPM. So they're spinning fairly fast. Our hash rate is 526. So by 526 by 303, we're at a hashed watt of 1.73. So our efficiency did go down. But at the pool, we have a current effective of 620 mega hash, which is obviously more than what we were seeing. Now, I don't know what our actual hash rate is because it is all share-based, no reporting here. So it's kind of hard to dictate exactly how we are hashing without doing, a couple day tests here and getting our 24-hour average. So here we are overclocked on Ethereum Classic. I'm going to swap it over now to Ethereum with this overclocking and see how it does. I'm assuming, obviously, it's going to be exactly the same as Ethereum Classic. So let's start that test now. Look at that, guys. 34 minutes, 1.3 gigahash. Now, that's just, probably an error. We're going to refresh it here. We're down to 736. But it's just starting to wind up now at 34 minutes. And it's slowly starting to see its hash rate at about the same time. But one thing I did notice through this, both times it was either 18 to 20 some minutes. That was on Ethereum Classic. And this is Ethereum again. And we're back to that 34-minute mark. So I'm assuming this has something to do with potential DAG file building. So I'm going to let this run for the full hour, and we're going to take a look at our hash rates with the 225 frequency overclock. Okay, guys, so here we are 1 hour into it on Ethereum with the frequency overclocked to 225. And we're sitting at 802.58 mega hash, 306 watts at the wall. That is insane. We're almost punching a gigahash here. We're 200 mega hash short. In GPU aspects, that's another 23080s or something. But with this thing, that's not very much more to move into the next level. And we're only utilizing 300 watts at the wall. That is absolutely insane. If I actually go to the pool to see what we're reporting here, or what we're not having to report it, but what our current hash rate is, it's saying 740 mega hash. I am now at 1.85 gigahash from a reported 1.16. So, this is pretty insane. This is really making GPUs not look too hot anymore. This is exactly what you do need to mine Ethereum Classic or something after Ethereum does move to POS, because it's all about efficiency, because there's a lot of difficulty in hash rate to come in, and you got to run as cheap as possible. And GPUs, if Ethereum Classic takes off, obviously, we're not going to have stock of these things. Everyone's going to buy them. And right now, there is stock. So right now is probably, if you do think Ethereum Classic is going to pump, you should probably grab these before they're gone. Now let's kind of compare sound. So I did use a decibel meter that I download as an app. I have no idea. I don't expect it to be too accurate. But on the left, we have the 200 megahertz, and on the right, we have the 225. So you can kind of see between the two settings on how the noise level do vary a bit. So I am going to put my mic up to it so you can kind of hear it. Now, the best way I can describe it is, even though it's not that loud, it's more of a high-pitched sound. So it may annoy people a lot more. Think of like a million mosquitoes all in your ear at the same time is kind of how I can say what this thing sounds like. So I'm putting the mic up close now. So as of recording, I'm not sure how that really turned out, but you get the idea. Now there's also a slight humming coming out of this thing. If I hold down somewhere in here, it kind of goes away. So I don't know if it's this top plate here that's kind of vibrating a bit, or if it's this desk, because I could definitely feel it vibrate. So there's something going on, but there is a hum coming out of this thing. So to compare that to my OCTOMINER, which is currently hanging around 65% fans, we can see what our decibel reading is. So it's not too bad, in the 75 range based on what this app is telling me, and I can tell you that it's fairly quiet here. So we're going to move up to our mini Doge and KD box to see what they're putting out. So there may be some background noise interfering with that because these are supposed to be like 40 decibels or something, but we're hanging out at the 60 decibel range, which is average talking. And I can clarify that you can't even hear these mini Doge miners. So, you know, take it any way you want. I'm trying to give you some readings here, but I don't think this is coming as intended. So let's just have a quick look at some current profitability. So I'm just going with the stock settings of what it's advertised plus the power that I seen at the wall. 540 mega hash on both Ethereum as well as Ethereum Classic for 267. Remember, we saw upwards of 800 and some mega hash at 306, which would make this even more profitable overclocking it. I think best range would be not to overclock it. That way you don't have to run your fans as hard, as fast, and it'll just make the machine probably last a little longer before any type of maintenance. Now let's go down to actual profitability. Ethereum, $12.32 before power, $11.68 at the current bear market prices after power. That's insane. Ethereum Classic, $8.47 before and $7.83 after power. That's at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Like, let's jump this up to $1. Like, this thing is probably profitable even at $1. Let's look at $1 per kilowatt hour, and that's expensive power. And we're still making $5.92 currently after power, and Ethereum Classic is yet still profitable. Like, I don't know. Let's try $1.50 here. Like, efficiency is absolutely amazing with this thing. $2.72. If you're paying $1.50 per kilowatt hour, you are still making money on Ethereum. It's set to move to POS, but sadly, at the current prices, Ethereum Classic will not be profitable. But that is $1.50. So, you know, that's insane. The levels we have to bring this to in terms of expensive power to make this not be profitable anymore. That is absolutely awesome. All right, guys, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and it gave you pretty much all the information you're curious about on this miner. Now, if I did miss anything, I'm sorry. Just let me know in the comments. I'll be doing updated videos on this once we get average hash rates and everything 100%. But my final thoughts is this miner worth it? It's what, about $6,000, $6,500? Well, think about it. This is everything all in one. So you don't need a mining frame case. You don't need any risers, power supplies, nothing. It's all there. Plus, this is about 6 to 8 RTX 3080s worth of GPUs. So subtract all that price off. That's pretty much 3/4 or almost everything already. Add on that efficiency when it comes to Ethereum Classic. I think that's actually a pretty good buy. So if your next go-to is Ethereum Classic, and Ethereum Classic, if it does decide to even moon or pump in the future bull run, or even lately, we have seen some nice little spikes on it, but if it does, you know, start moving north, which we all want, your GPUs are not going to compete with this thing. And right now, they do have stock. Once a bull market hits, you're probably not going to find these things anywhere, and no GPU out there currently, and I highly doubt any 4000 series once they come out will compete with this thing. This thing is so efficient, it's absolutely crazy. So in my mind, you know, everything is full of pros when it comes to it, but there are a few cons. Cons wise, like, it does have that high-pitched squeal, and some people may not like it. Mrs. Rabid, she already doesn't like it, so I might have to find a different spot for it. There are other versions coming out that may be quieter, but for the most part, this is what we got now, and this thing is absolutely awesome. So I'm going to keep it here and keep it here as long as I possibly can. I might have to switch it to another room. We'll see what happens, but that's probably my biggest con of it all. Other than that, you know, I think this thing is great. When it comes to maintenance, I don't really know what's involved with it yet, how long it's going to last, so that could be a con because it's too new. We don't know how long it'll take, it'll blow up, but for at least Ethereum Classic, according to the DAG size, I do believe it's about 5 gigabytes, so it is good till at least about October of 2028 in terms of the recent DAGs as they move according to the blocks, according to miner stats. So keep that in mind as well. This will be good till about 2028, so you have a lot of time to mine with these things. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you guys like this miner, dislike this miner? You know, it's absolutely amazing. Remember, use the links in the description, and code RabidMining will grant you an additional 1% off your order. Thanks for watching this video, and Rabid out. Thank you for watching my video, and if you haven't seen one of these, be sure to check them out. And if you already seen them, maybe you missed something, might have to watch it one more time. And if you just let it play in the background, that's all right as well. I do try to live stream every weekend as well as every couple days during the week, so be sure to be subscribed so you don't miss that. As always, have a great day.